So now we have completed Dinacharya. Now we are going to see the differences, the unique difference between Gurukul system and modern education system. So the Gurukul system, the first basic thing is here they are going to give every children both life education and livelihood education. I'm sure you all know this. Livelihood education is earning money or getting a job, and life education is to lead a life in a balanced way, in a happy way. And today's system, we know the difference. Many times that itself is not addressed, but still the focus is only towards getting a job or getting more money. The second major difference is the Gurukulam is located always away from the society, so that the social influence or the social chaos will not influence the minds of the children. Many times it will happen in such a way that the students will come to the world or the society only after 6 or 12 years or 22 years, and they will have a complete shock when they see the society, because they never saw the society in reality. They might have seen one or two small villages nearby whenever they go to get arms, whereas in today's world the society is inside the school itself and the school is in the midst of the society, because of which there are eternal distractions happening around, and the children in the schools are distracted by the mobile phones, distracted by the social media, distracted by the people out there, the posters, the politics, the groupism, the whatnot. We know that. The third thing is the Gurukulams are compulsorily residential. There is no day school. If it is a Gurukulam, then it should be residential, where 24/7 throughout the duration of the Gurukul, the child should be inside Gurukulam. This is compulsory, because when this is broken, then there is no point of taking away Gurukulam away from the society. It is as good as placing in the middle of the society, because 8 hours the child will be in school and learn everything, and when they come back, the father and mother will be watching TV serial, lying down in the middle of the house and eating while watching TV, or living as same as how everybody are living. Then the child is not going to learn anything. The child is also going to follow what the parents are doing. So that is why it's a Gurukul should be residential, and Acharya's role plays a very, very vital role. Co-education is banned. This may sound funny for few of you. In today's world, it is not so. But the intention of this is not that men are weak or women are weak. It is based on the nature of human mind. The nature of human body is, when a child becomes adult, the bodily hormones will react in such a way that it gets attracted towards the other gender. This is very, very natural. So the Gurukulam duration is this is the only phase where a child is going to intensely learn, intensely grow, intensely acquire knowledge, and during that phase of time, a distraction should be reduced as much as possible. And the first thing which they decided is co-education should be banned, and male Gurukul and female Gurukul will be minimum 100 kilometers away. One of my Gurukul's Margadarshaka, Bharati Ramanacharya, he used to say, the boy and the girl are like cotton and fire. When you put both the things together in a Gurukulam, you can't run a Gurukulam there. And it is 100% true. The next is in-class individual attention. In Gurukul, they don't teach in mass. It is not a mass session where I will speak and now how you all are listening. This is not a Gurukul design. Gurukul design can't happen. Now it is not. Now what is happening is a speech. Now it is not class. When it is a class, it should be interactive. It should be in a individual way. The teachers are the greatest yoga psychologists. When they see the child, they will know whether the child understood or not, in which area the child is having confusion, why the child is having confusion, what exactly the child is thinking. All these things the Acharya will know just by seeing the face of the child. Sometimes the Acharyas will ask a question on the doubt which the child is having, even though the child didn't ask. Or sometimes the Acharya will ask the student, why are you thinking about this thing when I am discussing about this thing? And I am not talking about Ramayana Mahabharata period. I am talking about my own Gurukul, where Acharyas are that much capable and that much dedicated to the cause therefore they are literally connected with the students. I used to say this sentence a lot when I came out of the Gurukulam, that 6 years I studied in the Gurukulam, and the acharyas there, particularly the Pradhana Acharya there, knows me better than my own parents. And I used to tell this hundreds of times when I came out of Gurukulam, because that was true. Now it's been 10 years and I'm completely out, but still he has a pretty good idea who I am, my strength, my weakness, my nature, my behavior, my possibility, my downfall area, everything he knows. He knows precise, sometimes better than me. And the same way he has idea and understanding about almost every student. Now this is possible because they teach individually and they don't teach in a group. You might have seen in the class photos, kaksha, where they all are sitting together. See, the conveying side will be together, but addressing everybody will be individual. Therefore individual attention will be given. The scorecard or the marks card will not be given for the subjects which they teach only. In the Gurukulam, even in the Gurukulam where I studied, in the marks card they will give different titles, like Samaja Drishti, what is his social outlook, and for that they will give a comment and they will see what improvement should be done, remarks. And then there will be Nayakatvam, leadership. They'll and Prayatnashilata, likewise different quality. They will address an entire person, and for an entire person's life they will give marks card, and they will address one by one for every topic, and for every quality of a person they will give a solution. Electives are based on nature. Electives, I mean the different courses which they choose, right? Like specialization kind of a thing, where the electives plays a very, very vital role in Gurukulam, because electives decides a person's career based on the specialization, and that specialization will not be given based on the interest. Let's say if Duryodhana is very much interested in archery, Dronacharya will not give Duryodhana an bow and arrow, because though he may be interested, but his nature is not bow and arrow, because he is not good at bow and arrow. This sometimes or many times student may not know, but Acharya will know. Therefore a person's elective, a person's career will be based on his nature or her nature, and not based on the interest or peer pressure. And the Gurukulam span, this is a very unique dimension. Let's say a Gurukulam is for 12 years. Do all the students complete the Gurukul at 12 years and leave? No. Normally it will not happen like that. So is that something like a failing and recompleting, or what we do as redo exams, or supplementary? No, it is not kind of a supplementary. This is completely different. Here they focus, and they will not leave the child, because it is their responsibility to not disturb the society. There is a very beautiful way of evaluation happened in one Gurukulam. It's a story where 100 rupees note was, I'm just telling 100 rupees, but a rupee was dropped in the floor, and 3-4 students were walking by, and nobody saw the rupee. Nobody noticed that rupee, or don't want to even touch it. But one student took it. After one day, he came and gave to the Acharya. And Acharya told, why it took 1 year for you, 1 day for you, therefore you are not yet ready. There are different ways of addressing students IQ and EQ and SQ, social consciousness. How much if a person is very, very egoistic, very, very selfish, very, very dangerous, then that person leaving out of the Gurukul is equal to disturbing the society. So Gurukulam takes the responsibility of the people, those who are not yet ready to support or beautify the society. So therefore such children will not be allowed out of the Gurukulam. This is odd, because in today's schooling, if a child is not good, they will expel. If a child is not studying, they will expel. If a child is having a bad behavior, they will expel. Matlab, we don't want to get bad name if your son or if your daughter is not good. Therefore, I want to not take the responsibility. Is exactly the way around. The Gurukul will own the responsibility more than the parents, because the Gurukulam is concerned about the society. All right. Yes, this is the last one, I guess. The relationship between Gurukulam and Guru is eternal. Till the child dies, the Guru is in his life or her life, and the Gurukulam is connected with him. This is one of the most beautiful thing, I guess, because Guru Kulam means house, family, and it's a bigger family. So it's the apt word. There is no other word can be placed next to it, because I came from my Kulam, and a bigger Kulam which I have is Gurukulam, and I am always connected to it, and my identity is Gurukulam, because the Gurukulam can't be separated from me, or the Acharya can't be separated from me, or Guru can't be separated from me. This is the dimension which is very, very unique in the Gurukulam structure, where the relationship of alumnus or alumni is something far different from what we imagine of the concept of alumni or Gurukulam. Even today, if we get a call from our Acharya, we can't sit and talk, we will get up. And many times I have noticed, if a call comes from my Acharya to my phone, it's now almost 10 years now, even my home, my family, my father, mother, brother, wife, they also will get up in respect. So this is the power of a Guru or Acharya. So I'm just listing out whatever I said till now. Now we are going to move to the third one, uniqueness.